What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm gonna go straight at what the thumbnail shows you. We are replacing a window regulator on a 2004 Hummer H2 front passenger side. If you've been following my videos, I believe not the last video I posted yesterday, the one before that, I mentioned that this guy just broke on me. The glass just didn't want to come up again, so I already knew what it was. I took the time to order the window regulator. So, if you never replace a regulator on your H2, it's kind of scary to do this without the right tools. But let's say that yours broke. You decided to tackle the problem yourself. The regulator came in and you don't have the proper tools to take your door panel off. What you can do is, if you have a little wrench like this, these come on a lot of other, I don't know, probably all the furniture that when you order furniture or when you buy stuff at Walmart that needs to be put together, these little guys come in with those, and I happen to collect them all the time. Well, this is one of the things that's going to help you if you don't have the right tools, the little pry tools that you use to get door panels off. First thing that you're going to do is you're going to remove the plastic cover that's right here on your door. I'm going to show you what that cover looks like. Drop the tool. There's a little plastic section that goes right here with one screw. That screw ties up right there, okay? And that section is back here. This little section is what comes off, and that's the screw right there, okay? You take that off. Then after that, when you pull this, you got to pull this up a little bit and you take that plastic off. Then you're going to find two more screws back here. One, see them? I don't know if you can see that. Okay, there's two holes right there, 1 and 2. Them two screws, you remove them two, and now the door panel is free from the door structure. Now, again, not having the right tools, it's never a good thing. What you can do is you can start by prying the top of the window of the door panel gently. There's a couple of taps right here that you need to pop first. When you pop those, then you're going to come to the side. There's one located right here that I already got off. Oh, I'm sorry. Shoot. Right there where my finger is at, there's one. There's another one. There's another one right there. See it? That right there. Now, to get them off, if you're afraid to pull this panel off, remember these panels are old, they're fragile, they've been toasted by the sun. This is where these little skinny wrench comes in. You can use this to find all your, when you start pulling this out, you can use this to get in there and help him pop off. See that? See how I'm talking about right there? See that? That's how you get him, how you help him get him out. And then use a rag or something if you don't want to scratch the side of the door. What we're going to do is we're going to walk our way around the door panel trying to get all these tabs off. And I'm not going to bore you with the whole process. You kind of get the idea. What I'm going to do is when I remove the panel, I'm going to cut the video now and I'm going to show you what all the tabs are at so you know where to pry. All right, so here are all the tabs that you're going to encounter. That right there is one of them. There's one up here that looks to be that guy right there, the white one. Another one right here, and then you kind of follow all the way around. Okay, I saw a screw drop when I was doing this. I don't know what that screw is from my window regulator. Maybe the regulator is not bad. Maybe it just came off and it was loose. I don't know. But anyways, you got the light that came off right there. That's what the little light. That's what you need to take off. And then you also got back here where your little controls are. That's what you need to unplug. Once you unplug that, you're going to free this whole section, door panel, from the entire door. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'm going to show you how to unstick all this insulation so you get access to the actual regulator itself. All right, so now that we got the door panel off, don't do that. Put the door panel somewhere where it's not going to drop or whatever. If we break it, it's really expensive to replace unless you have a spare one. Anyway, so here we go. Door panel off. That's where your LED actually, I don't see the LED bulb. Interesting. Maybe the bulb was in. I don't know. We'll figure that out later. Anyways, you can tell this is raw footage. I'm trying not to cut anything. As it happens, you're gonna get it. So take this off. Be gentle. It's always sticking around here. Again, like I said, this has already been replaced. Not while I had the H2, but I noticed that this wasn't the original glass though. So kind of walk your way around it. Pull these off like that. If there is glue, try to conserve the glue so you can use it again. That's what I always try to do, or what I always do when I help somebody else do this process. Keep in mind, these trucks are old. And every little bitty thing that you can conserve to put it right back the way it was, it's always a good thing. Let me see. Okay, so we're getting somewhere. We can see the regulator now. But I want to show you guys the entire process of. I hate this thing. I don't know about you guys, but I hate when these things get old. And see, there's no way to avoid all of that. But ain't much we can do about that. Take this off. What some people do is they don't take the entire thing off. They only take the top off and they just let it loose. I don't like doing that because I don't want stuff on the way while I'm working. But hey, we're all different, You prefer to let this little insulation hang. That's up to you. I try not to have any of these on my way. I was eager to get this replacement regulator because I don't know where you're watching from, but here in the LA area, the heat is getting out of hand. So I fixed the AC leak, and then now I have a window down. So that's what life with an H2 is like. Fix one thing, something else breaks. So see, oh look, see, here it is. We still got glass in here, probably from whatever happened to this window. I don't know, maybe that's kind of dangerous. I'm trying not to stick my finger. But anyway, you see that glass, broken glass? That tells me that whoever replaces the regulator, the glass though, didn't even take the time to clean everything. You might want to fast forward through all of this. I'm just showing you this without editing because I want you guys to see exactly how all these things removed. Check out this speaker job. You see that? That's that. I'm gonna stop now. We're gonna stop talking about regulators, and I'm gonna explain to you really quick why that speaker is like this. The previous owner, I'm the second owner of this H2. The previous and first owner of the H2 took the H2 to a shop. This was years ago. We're talking before 2010, and it was a shop at a swap meet. This is what a story that I got from the first owner. It was a shop at a swap meet in Texas, and he just dropped the car off, came back, and everything was hooked up, and he didn't see anything. Funny thing is, this is how they installed the speakers. See that? 2 screws, things flying in there. But the cover that they used, look what they did. See that? So I'm wondering if this shop told the owner, oh look, we put these JL, what's it called? CR or whatever it is, speakers on it. And this is what's actually underneath it. But anyways, keep on going. Trying not to stick my fingers in there. I don't want any glass though. By the way, this vehicle was a demo, a Hummer demo at the dealership, and the first owner bought it with 8,000 miles on it. And he did a bunch of the stuff at Hummer dealerships because when I bought it, I did my research and I saw a lot of the service records done at some of the old dealerships in Texas. We're almost done removing this. Almost done. Oh, piece of glass right there. Almost got my finger. Interesting to see glass in that. There you go. Now I gotta sweep all of that. Sweep all of that, or I'm gonna get myself in trouble. Sure, good thing that's stuck in there. Anyway, so you get all the cables through here. I'm gonna let them hang. I don't mind them at all. Put this guy in an area where nothing is gonna stick to that, because we want to use that again. If you heard some wind noise, I apologize. We're still recording? Yeah. Okay. So I'm just gonna throw these. Back here again. If you suspect that there's been already a replacement of your previous window, whatever, be careful, because this could happen. This is a common thing when the window was broken into and the shop that replaced it didn't do a good job, or didn't take this thing all the way out, and they leave glass pieces in there. And also use gloves. Don't do this. I think I got it all out. Anyways, just gonna put it all right here. All right, so move on with the rest of the install. All right, so now you can see here that we have everything exposed. I ain't never been back here, so I don't know if that's supposed to be like that or what. But anyway, so here we go. Let me see what's going on with this glass. See if it came off. This regulator is still good, maybe, and it just came off the track. I'm gonna cut this short right now, and I'll continue to figure what was wrong with this. And all right, so I was trying to figure if the regulator was still good or not. Maybe sometimes the glass just comes off somehow. I've seen that happen, but that's not the case. Anyways, once you get the insulation off, I believe there's only 5 screws that you need to take off. The 10 millimeter with a 10 millimeter socket. Let me see. Yeah, 10 millimeter socket. It's gonna be 1 right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's to get the whole assembly off of this door frame on the inside. But what you need to do before you do any of that is you need to lose this screw right here, and another screw that's kind of hard to get. You can't see it. It's right there. It's right there. See that screw? You need to get that one off too, because that's what's holding the glass to the whole regulator assembly. Once you get those 2 screws off, before you touch any of these 5 that I just mentioned, you need to figure a way to keep this glass up. What I've done in the past is I put a piece of wood in there long enough to keep the glass on the upward position. That way I can take the regulator off, put the new regulator in, secure it, then let the glass fall on these 2 little things that hold the glass in the right position, and then do it. If you got little sucking cups that you can put right here, then you can probably raise these up. Once you lose these 2 screws, hold it in the right position with the sucking cups. You can take off your regulator, put the new one in, and let it fall back down when the new one is in. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take them screws off, which I believe, let me see, I believe there might be 10, I'm not sure if it's 10 millimeters or not, but I'm going to take these off, get this glass out of there. All right, so we got the regulator out. There you have it. As you can see right here, see the cable broke and it's all tangled up right there. So that's what happened to our regulator. There's a couple of places where you can send this and they'll rebuild it, but didn't want to do that. I wanted to go ahead and replace it, because ever since I got this truck, when the window will come up nice, but what I noticed is this side wasn't centered right, like it wasn't in the right spot. And then when you hit on the driver's side, when you hit the button to come down all the way, you won't just start coming down all the way. It'll go like a big step, like pop. It'll drop right here and then it'll come down. That's been happening for pretty much ever since I got the truck. And me being lazy, I just waited till now, till the whole thing broke, to replace it. Anyways, remember, there's 5 screws that you need to remove. 5 screws. It'll be, let me see, so remember. 1 screw right here that holds the motor. 1 up here. Another 1 over here, that's 3. And then I believe 4 was right here. And then 5 right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. If you're doing this by yourself, like I am, you might want to get yourself little pieces of wood to do this, to hold the glass in place. See that? Now, before you remove all the screws, because remember, when you remove the screws, this whole assembly is still going to be holding your glass, though, if you do that first, and it's going to drop and it's going to be a mess. I show you the 2 little screws that hold this glass, which are located right here. This is how the regulator mechanism is inside the door. Let me flip it over. That's how the regulator mechanism is in the door. And these 2 things, these right here, they hold the glass. So you need to loose up on the other side. You need to loose up this screw, which happens to be a 10 millimeter, like the other 5 that I just told you about. And this one, you loosen them up just enough so that you can get the glass all the way up. If you're doing this by yourself, what I did, I had no help. I held the glass all the way up, and then I held it with one hand right here, and with the other hand, I'm tangled the what's it called, the regulator out through here. Now, once you get the regulator out, why are you holding the glass with the other hand? Okay, that's why I mentioned before. See that wood? If you get a longer piece, you can put that glass all the way up here, stick a piece of wood in there. It's going to help hold the glass up here. You're going to have both hands free to get the regulator out of the door itself. Remember, the regulator is stuck in there. Once you do that, when your regulator is out, this cable is going to be attached to the regulator. Has a little thing that snaps in, and it's going to be plugged in right there. So if you're doing this like I did, I wish I should have. Actually, I'm now I'm going to get me a little strap, like a head strap for my GoPro, so I can show you the entire process for the back door with the camera as it happens. Once you get that out, just drop it, do what I did, get your piece of wood to hold that glass in place. It's going to be a little hard now for me to get the new one stuck in there in the right place. Raise it up, put these glass in the slots, and then assemble it all together. That's gonna be an adventure. But I'm gonna see if I can record some of that to show you guys how I do this myself. All right, so new regulator, doorman, part number 751706. This is our guy right here. Let's see what we got. Get this out of the bag. All right, so that's our old regulator. That's our new regulator. I can see this guy came with the glass holder position all the way up. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to get this guy all the way up here, stuck in there, because once I put this inside, then I have to figure out how to drop the glass in that position. I don't know if I'm gonna put this in there, screw it in, hook up the door back in there, trying to lower that somehow. I don't even know. I don't think you can lower it without the glass on it, but I'll figure it out. Anyways, that's a new regulator. So you can see sometimes when you get an aftermarket part, it might not be exactly the same, but the idea as a whole is the same. This is a connector that you see over there. It's hanging in there. So let's see how this goes. All right, so I managed to get the regulator in there the right way. That's how I stick it in there. then since I'm unprepared, like a lot of us probably gonna be when the regulator arrives, but just eager to get it in, I'm holding the glass on the up position, make sure it's even with one hand. With the other hand, I went and snaked the regulator in. Now I'm gonna line it up with these holes and try to at least get a couple of screws in there. And then if you looked in here, you see that right? Let me see, hold on a second. See that right there? I need to have that on the bottom of the glass right there. Line that one up, tie it up, and do the same for this one right there. All right, so still holding the glass with one hand. Good news is we got the regulator situated. I got all the screws where they're supposed to be. You can see it right there. Now, one thing that I want to remind you guys though is that these regulators have a little guide. You see that little guide? There's a metal guide that goes in there. If you manage to put this one in the right place with one hand while holding the glass, holding it with my elbow, and this one here into, now you got the regulator exactly where it's supposed to be. This is what's going to help you put it right in the right place. So if one of those is not in all the way, then you might need to like loose these up and make sure these hangs on this side so that the regulator is on the right spot. I managed to, again, I'm still holding to the glass. I managed to get everything where it's supposed to be. Remember, 5 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right there, you can barely see it. And 5. Now the regulator is in place. What I'm going to do right now, what you're going to have to do, if you have help, once all these is secure and this cable is plugged in, what you want to do now is you want to drop the glass slowly. Make sure the glass goes into the slots that are in here. Slot is right there, and the other slot that's right here. Once that's in there, what you're gonna do is you're gonna tie it up, the screws, tie that one up, tie the other one up, and then I'm gonna cut the video now here, and I'll show you what's next. All right, so there it is. We got the glass in the slot where it's supposed to be at on the front side, and also you probably won't be able to see through that hole a lot, but the glass is in the right spot. It's kind of hard to get it. I don't know if you can see it from down here, but you see that? Maybe you don't see it. Anyway, so once you line that up, you make sure that you line this side up and that one up. You should see your glass somewhat on the right height on both sides. If you see, obviously the glass is tilted too much forward or down this way, then you might want to make adjustments in your glass down there, because sometimes the slots that hold it, and I'm going to show you right here on this guy that's out. You see that right there? And this one, if they're not loose enough, the glass cannot get all the way down here. And the same happens for these though. So that's why you got to make sure that both of these are loose enough on the beginning before you drop your glass all the way in. Once the glass is all the way in, that you verify that's both all the way in on both sides, go ahead, tie that up. The screws that hold the glass are also 10 millimeters, so it's 10 millimeters all around. I'm gonna go ahead and make adjustments on both sides to make sure the glass is on the right spot, and then I'll come back and show you what the end result was. So it's dark already, as you can see. Moment of truth. I went ahead and tied up everything. Sorry that I didn't have a light on before. I don't know why it wasn't turning on. And I went ahead and also, I don't know if you can see through the hole, and tied that one up. Just hooked up the wires to the door panel. So, moment of truth. Do we have a working window regulator or not? You're gonna find out in a second. see what we got here. As you can see, I plugged these two in. See here. Here we go. Ooh. All right, so right off the back, I'm noticing an issue. This is the same problem I had with the previous regulator that's been in this truck ever since I bought it. When the glass goes up all the way, there's a little gap right here, and there's a little gap right there. And that's as far as it goes up. You can see right here, all the way up, see? Now, when it goes down, when I hit the button once to go down, I don't know if you notice a little drop right there, but that might have to do with adjustments to this guy right there. I'm gonna leave it right there. See if there's any adjustments I can do to correct this. I'm gonna show you again. See that? When it gets right there, the glass is touching. You can see that the glass is not lined up. The glass is touching and then it doesn't go up all the way. I'll show you right now. See that? There you go. So I'm gonna make a couple of adjustments, see if I can correct that. So we got the glass in what I think is the right position. At least it's better than what we had before. I know there's a little gap right there, but it's better than what we had before. Wait, when there's a hole right here, that's the one you're supposed to use to tie everything up. So once you get your glass in the right spot, you can't use this hole right there to tie everything up. Obviously, the glass needs to be all the way up in order for these to be usable, because then otherwise, you know, obviously the thing is going to be all the way out here. So I'm going to go ahead and get this situated right here. See if we can tie this up on the right spot. There you go. There you go. Don't want to tighten it too much. Let's do the other side. The other side, where is it at? Right here. There you go. Well, this one is okay. It's not. Oh, there you go. You want to make sure that this glass is not going to come off. So, all right. So let's put this thing back together. Basically, you pretty much do everything backwards. This guy right here, if you have a little, if you have a little trouble taking it off, you pop this back and it kind of like spits the connector out. I'm gonna put the insulation back in here, and then we'll continue with the rest of the process of putting that panel back in there. Insulation is back in place. Remember why I told you to save that glue that's back there? Trying to stick it back in place. If you lose all of it, I know you can do double side tape too. I've seen some people do that. Feed all my cables through. These speakers are gonna be a whole other video when I'm gonna take this whole panel off again and redo the speakers, because the entire H2, except for the doors, have the original Bose speakers, where they sound good. Even these do. But I want to do the right thing and get Bose speakers and put them back in place. That's a whole other video. So make sure that all these holes are, you know, accessible when you put your, oh, look at this guy. Wonder how long he's been there. Anyways, gonna put that door panel back in. And remember, when you put your door panel back in, make sure that all the clips are in place. If you go to your local auto part and you're on the States, if you look at your local auto part, they do sell a little packet with a bunch of these with different sizes in case you take your door panel off. Plug everything back the opposite way that we took them off, and then line up all your clips on the door. Smack them a little bit till you hear the click. Don't go crazy on it, because if you break them all, then you know what's gonna happen. You're gonna have to go ahead and hopefully your local auto part has replacement clips. If not, then your H2 is gonna rattle even more. So let me cut this here and I'll be back when I get all the cables hooked up. Everything is put back together. These right here, my LED fell out inside of the little lens. I got a hard time getting it out, but everything's back together. Remember, get all your connections back in place. Rewind the video back and see what I got them out of. Put them back in place. Remember, after you take this one screw out, there's two more screws hiding behind this that hold the entire door panel to the frame of the door. But anyways, there you have it. Window is replaced. There's a reason why I titled the video the way I titled it, how not to replace a window regulator. And there's also a reason why I left the video just like it is, because I didn't want to be the same as every other video where everything is laid down on the table all nice and clean. I wanted to make this video just as it happened, so that you know what kind of things that you might struggle with, because I know a lot of you watching my video are probably sitting at home with no help, or you might have help but you decide to tackle the job on your own and you just saw the kind of things that you might struggle with. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video.